So much of what we feel doesn't start with what we want to feel, doesn't start with our feeling it. It starts with our wanting to. It starts with our intention. It starts with our thinking it. You want to get to gratitude? Think gratitude. You want to feel a feeling? Then fake it. Fake it until you make it. But make the intent, let the intention be, the intention is important, is that I want to feel it. And I realized from pulsing what this gratitude, 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 and I particularly got it with joy. That's where I really got it, was when I started doing joy. I could be 1,000,000 miles away from joy. I could be in aggravation. But seriously, you will discover certainly all kinds of things that work to increase these emotions, to get people into and to get you into, and what keeps you in a world of positivity. So much so that even when the stuff happens, when there's grief to be experienced, and when there's loss to be experienced, and when there's pain to be experienced, there is nothing to keep us from experiencing joy right alongside that. To experience these positive emotions of gratitude. You can experience loss, and you can experience deep grief, and you can experience gratitude at the same time. You do not have to go to despair. You do not have to go to despondency in those experiences. The UpSpiral is so important because it sets the stage of what Fredrickson calls broaden and build. It opens us and opens us to, I guess we might say, higher and higher stages of using our own abilities and of using our own creativity. So UpSpiral is what is setting the force for you. It's opening the field. Do their strength testing with them first. That could be your first step. Get them into their strengths. But the strengths are secondary to an UpSpiral. Secondary in importance. Because the strengths are what we use to sustain the UpSpiral of positivity, to sustain all that's in optimism. And it isn't just optimism, it's far more than that. It's creative evolution that we're working with. It's why the world has gone on. That's what we're working with in the UpSpiral. That important, but you may need to do the strengths, but see those strengths as things first and foremost. Our strengths are the things that we use to sustain an UpSpiral. And of course, you know when people are not plugged into their strengths, when they're not paying attention to their strengths, you're looking at one essential dynamic, and that is oppression. They're either oppressed, they feel like it's on top of them, or people don't even have to be oppressed to experience what will work just as badly, and that's intimations of being oppressed. Intimations or signals that I'm going to feel powerless. Anything that signals me that I might feel powerless, that I might lose my bank account, that I might lose my house, that I might lose my job. Just the signals of those intimations of oppression are powerful enough to plug people into a sense of oppression, and it is that sense of oppression that robs you of your strengths. That's why when I ask you, tell me what your strengths are, and you look like a deer in the headlights. Because I get you at those times when you're oppressed, and when you're oppressed, we forget what our strengths are. They just go right out of our heads until you get really, really good at using your strengths. And guess what happens when you get really good at using your strengths? You don't get oppressed. The oppression leaves you. You don't begin to have those same intimations of oppression or those experiences of oppression.